So the first wide receiver, and now this wide receiver hurts my heart. Welcome back to the Fantasy Backpack, where we carry people to championships. Now, I'm a little wired today because it's the day after Halloween. Just finished watching Thursday Night Football. Congrats to Mullins. But I've been eating a lot of candy. You know, there's a shitload of candy sitting around now the day after Halloween. But I figured I'd give you my sit starts. You know, I always give you the wide receiver sit starts wide receivers I think you shouldn't start. I did it last week, and I think I was basically 2 for 2. I tried to stretch it last week by doing more stars, but hell, no one's going to sit their stars, really. So I figured I would just give you players that I think you can sit, but you're probably debating whether you should play them or not, and I'm here to tell you, don't play them. So there's 4 wide receivers that I think you shouldn't start, because they're going to have tough matchups, tough games, and it may not be worth it to you. But before we get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. It'll be nice to share these videos to more people. The more people we get in the community, the more ideas we can share, the more people can come up with, hey, this worked, da-da-da-da-da. Some people may have stats that I've never even heard of, or stuff that I've never even seen, and I want to get the community to that place. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell people about it, comment, do all that. So the first wide receiver, and now this wide receiver hurts my heart. Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin has been more erratic this year than anyone I can think of. Why? Because we all know what we're expecting, we all know what we want from him, and we know we're not getting it from him. So, Doug Baldwin has gone from 1 point to 91 points to 26 points. 26 yards. 1, 91, 26 in the last 3 games. I don't know what to do with that. The target shares are there. The routes ran are there, but he's no longer the BFF of Russell Wilson. So we gotta talk to Russell Wilson or something, because it's not working out. But this week they play the Chargers. The Chargers are only giving up 229 yards passing on offense. Now, Russell Wilson doesn't really need more than 200 apparently to score, but that doesn't mean he's going to show Doug Baldwin love. Not only that, he's going up against Desmond King. Desmond King has been great covering the slot receivers. He's been great covering the slot receivers. I think slot corners are going to be more important than every other corner as the years go on, because everyone's putting their most skilled guys in the slot just to take advantage of the slot matchups. Desmond King only allows 8 fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Now, if you're playing the Chargers, they're most likely, I'm not sure, it hasn't been confirmed yet if they're getting Bosa back. But the Chargers defense, just in general, is going to be a monster going forward. And if it starts this week, I don't want to be caught up in that. Now, you know how I feel about Doug Baldwin. I love the guy. He was in my 5 guys that I think that can win you championships. I still think he has that ability going forward as the schedule eases up a bit, and maybe him and Russell Wilson gets back into the swing of things. They can go forward, but for now, no. Get away from that. The next wide receiver, number 2, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, this is the second time Josh Gordon's been on this list in 2 weeks. I'm not picking on the guy. The matchups are. Not only that, from watching film, I don't think Josh Gordon is Josh Gordon. I think he's an average player who's more like tight end build, and now can just box out people. He can cut inside and catch 6-yard slants, but that's about all I think he is for. They're playing the Packers. The Packers have a very surprising D that they're only allowing 226 passing yards per game. That's better than the Chargers. And they've been able to get pressure up front. So, you know, Tom Brady's favorite thing to do is get the ball out quick, because Tom Brady hates pressure. Tom Brady doesn't like to throw with anyone around his body, his feet. He doesn't like any of that. So he likes to get the ball out quick. Josh Gordon isn't necessarily a quick guy. So therefore, you're going to see more Gronks, more Edelmans, even maybe some Cordero Patterson, a lot of James White. Josh Gordon probably could score in this game, because I think it's going to be a back and forth, high scoring type game. But I just don't like the matchup. Plus, he plays Tremont Williams, and Tremont Williams to me this year has been the surprise cornerback this year. The thing is, he's been a shutdown QB, but he hasn't really played anyone. But is Josh Gordon right now, as he stands, anyone? We're expecting Tom Brady to elevate Josh Gordon, not the other way around. So is he really anyone? So I don't like the matchups. I would sit him. You know, if you're thinking, hey, he's due, sure, this works. The next guy on the list is, for the Cowboys fan, they're going to hate this. Amari Cooper. Don't buy into the hype just yet. I picked him up in a couple leagues because he was dropped, but he's been very erratic. Coming from a system where Derek Carr completes like 70% of his passes to one where the quarterback is the quarterback is as erratic as the wide receiver is. So that's going to be it's going to be an interesting combination to see. So they're going up against the Titans. And he'll most likely be matched up, just based on where he plays, most likely be matched up against Adoree Jackson. Now, Adoree Jackson has had one really bad game against the Chargers. One really terrible game against the Chargers. Other than that, he hasn't allowed more than 51 yards to any wide receiver. Not more than 51 yards to any receiver. Amari Cooper he's set in where he's going to play. Because you're not moving Beasley out of the slot. It's not like the Rams team where you can rotate all three guys in and out of the slot so that they can take advantage of the matchups. He's basically going to be stuck out there with Adoree Jackson, who only gives up 8 fantasy points a game. So you're trying, if he's like your third or fourth guy, by all means, take a fly on him. But if he's your second guy and hoping for a high third guy, I wouldn't play him. Amari Cooper is no, not this week. Okay, on this list, it's going to come to a shock to many, but you need to take it. You need to take it out of the glory, the happiness that you see, and put it into real context. The guy is Kenny Galladay. I know. Calm down. So, with Tate gone, you're assuming his target share should go up, and with him and Jones. I really don't see that much increase. Now, it's going to go up from the fact that he's only been targeted like 3 times the last 3 games because I don't know what the Lions were doing. It's going to go up from that to where he was earlier in the season. That's good, but he's not going to be as high, especially this week. Now, he goes up against Minnesota. Now, Minnesota only gives up 188 yards passing the last 3 games. I mean, they played Drew Brees and held him under 200 yards. So, if I'm looking at Stafford and I'm looking at Minnesota, I'm looking at the team, the best thing they can do is run the ball. Galladay's going to get his targets, but he's going up against Trey Waynes. Trey Waynes is the number 9th ranked fantasy quarterback. I mean, cornerback. Why am I having problems with this? He's the number 9th ranked fantasy cornerback because he only gives up 6 fantasy points a game. Now, I don't assume they're going to move Galladay to the slot much because I think they want to put Powell in there. And if you saw my other video, then you'll understand I think Powell is the one that made them finally say, you know what, it's okay, we should trade Tate. They wanted to do it earlier anyway. But I don't think Galladay has a good game straight out the bat for the simple fact that he's going up against some really good cornerbacks. And I see the Lions switching to more run heavy type slot, still pass to the slot, even though it can be deceiving. He's going to have some really good games going forward. But this week, nope, not this week for Galladay. Wide receivers, I really think you should consider sitting. You can back check it as they go during the week, see where it goes, and then you can decide whether you want to trust me or not as they go. All right? This is a Fantasy Backpack. Get in. Let's win some championships.